Welcome to this current affair topic. In this topic, we will take international affair news. So, the Paris Agreement recently it has completed a 5 years. So, it was enacted in the year 2016, and with the 2016 to 2020, it has a fifth anniversary this year. And due to COVID 2020, this year, at the COVID-19 was there, and in this year 2020, it was held virtually. So the United Nations and the United Kingdom and France that co-hosted this climate ambitions, and we will see that in this summit our Prime Minister has said that the targets given in the Paris Agreement we have achieved most of the part it, and the India has ranked 9 among the 20 nations. So moving ahead, we will see all those things in the lecture. So I request you to please subscribe this channel. This is a new channel, so I need your support. And further, I request you to please go through this lecture till the end so that you will have a complete picture of this topic. So the summit, this was conveyed that United Nations recently it has marked as a 5th anniversary of this Paris Agreement. Okay, so what exactly is this Paris Agreement? The environment has been changed. Over the global temperature of the environment has been changed. If you see, the most of the contribution in the rising of the global temperature is done by the developed countries only, because in the industrial phase, in the post industrialization phase, those countries emitted lots of carbon dioxide at that time, and they did not care about the environment during that period, and due to that only we all are suffering. Right now the countries like India are the developing one, so the amount of carbon emissions done by these countries are far lesser than those western countries. So by seeing all those issues, the Paris deal, the United Nations Conventions on Climate Change has contributed this Paris Agreement, and we have a set of goals where the G20 countries are combined together, and they have selected their own targets, and on that targets they have promised to achieve it by 2030. Okay, so in this lecture we will see that what India has its targets and what is the performance by the India. Okay, so this Paris Agreement, this is a multilateral agreement, like it has a multiple goals, multiple countries are involved. So it is a multilateral agreement within the United Nations framework on the Convention on the Climate Change, UNFCCC. Okay, it has signed to reduce, mitigate greenhouse gas emissions, that is carbon dioxides and all, because the global temperatures are increasing. So they have come together, this United Nations Framework Convention of UNFCCC has joined all those countries to contribute to less the effect of the carbon emissions throughout the world. Okay, so we have some set of targets in the Paris Agreement. So it was like formed in the Paris Agreement was formed in the 2015 only, but it was enacted in the 2016. Okay, so what is its goal with the globally the set by the Paris Agreement? The goal set by the Paris Agreement is to reduce the current temperature up to 2 degrees Celsius. Like if suppose in the pre-industrialization phase the temperature of the global was 40 degrees Celsius, then it has been set as a target that the current century, that is this 21st century, right now we have what we have seen. So this century we have almost maximum it should be the global temperature of the 42 degrees Celsius, and further it has been notified that it has to be limit, if it's possible, that it has to be limit to for only 1.5 degrees Celsius. It has to be limit to the increase of 1.5 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that is what written here, that the goal of the Paris Agreement is to curtail the rise of the global temperature of this century, of this 21st century, below 2 degrees Celsius. It should be below 2 degrees Celsius. From what? From above the pre-industrialization phase. Okay, and also pursue, if it's possible, that we have to limit the increase up to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Okay, that upper limit has been set to 2 degrees Celsius, and the lower limit, if it's possible, that we have to do it 1.5 degrees Celsius. If it lets, then it is good, but 1.5 degrees Celsius we have to limit it to the 1.5 degrees Celsius only, and it can be only tolerated up to 2 degrees Celsius with the pre-industrialization phase. Like the pre-industrialization phase, the greater temperature, like it is suppose if it is 40 degrees Celsius, then we can tolerate up to 42 degrees Celsius. That is the goal set. Okay, and it has developed mechanism to help and support the countries that are vulnerable to the adverse effect of the climate change, like the developing countries, like the underdeveloped countries. See, underdeveloped countries want to be developed. Okay, so they will do industrializations and all, and let us suppose if they don't have a technology, so the technology, the old technology they will be using, so in that case there is a chance of emission of more carbon dioxide from their side. Okay, so it has been said that Paris Agreement goal is to help those countries also by providing them technologies, so that those underdeveloped countries, the developing countries, will become developed one with the less carbon emissions. But still, if we see, the developed countries are emitting more than the developing countries. So it has been observed that the countries like India are doing more good with the Paris Agreement, or they are contributing more in the goals of the Paris Agreement than the developed countries. Okay, so in the goals of Paris Agreement, it has been another goal that it has developed a mechanism to help and support the countries that are very vulnerable to the adverse impact of the climate change, and confirms the obligation that developed countries have towards the developing countries. Developed countries have their responsibility towards the developing countries, because these developed countries are the only responsible who raise the climate temperature globally, because they emitted lots of carbon dioxide during the industrialization phase. Okay, so it confirms the obligation of the developed countries towards the developing countries by providing them financial support and the technical support, by giving them loans and all, or by giving them the technology. So if they have a technology with them, then the emission of the carbon dioxide or those things will be reduced. Okay, so recently in this summit that has held virtually, Indian Prime Minister at the summit has announced that India is set to surpass the climate target. So whatever the targets India has taken, it is believed that by 2030 India will surpass all the targets, because India is doing very well in that goals that were set by the India. India is right now ranked as the 9th in the 20 among countries. India is ranking 9, so it is not bad. It is very good. So the future initiatives with regards to the adopting green strategies are require more of a decentralized approach with the multiple stakeholders consultation. So it is saying that the future initiative, whatever the initiatives we are going to take with the green strategies, like the reducing of the carbon dioxide and all, it should be a decentralized approach. It should not be like the centralized one. Like, it should not be like that India is only doing all those efforts, not the other countries are doing. So in that case, what will happen? That other countries will be, sorry for this a small glitch. So what will happen, that India is doing very good, but the other countries are not doing or not giving their effort to achieving those targets. So in that case, what will happen? Only centralized approach will not be benefited, because if India is doing good and other countries are not doing so, ultimately there is no final result will be approached. It has been observed that still the developed countries are emitting more carbon dioxide than the developing countries. So it should be like developed countries should also take it as their responsibility. They have to understand their responsibility, and the developing countries should also be reduce their emissions of the carbon dioxide, because they also want to be developed. Okay, so that is the point here, it mentioned that it should be a decentralized approach. Developed countries also and the developing countries also, they should take their responsibility more sincerely, and developed countries should take their responsibility more sincerely because they are already developed, they already contributed too much in the environment. Okay, so the present achievements are stepping stones and have to be pursued further. So what is the nationally determined contributions? So what do you understand by nationally determined contributions? So it is that in the Paris Agreement, countries came together, countries came in front of the group, and they set their own targets, what they will achieve. Okay, so in that case, if you see, the China has given a target for the 2050 and India has given the target for the 2030. So similarly, this nationally determined contributions, it means the contribution that need to be done by each country to achieve the overall global goal to reduce the temperature by the 2 degrees Celsius from the pre-industrialization phase. That it should be above only 2 degrees Celsius from the pre-industrialization phase, or limit to the 1.5 degrees Celsius. Okay, and the contribution needs to be reported every 5 years to the UNFCCC, United Nations Federation of the Contribution on the Climate Change. Okay, let me see, yeah, United Nations Framework Convention on the Climate Change. Okay, and the contribution, the most important part to mark here, the contributions are not legally binding. So if any country fails to achieve the target, so it is not like that any punishment or then any penalties will be imposed. So countries are coming voluntarily in front of them and they are giving the targets and they have to achieve it by their own sake, and if they fail to achieve the target, so there is no legal binding for it. That is the main point. So in exams it can be given that the Paris Agreement is the legal binding approach for the countries. No, it is not the legal binding to them, and the goal is to make sure that all countries have access to the technical expertise and the financial capability to meet the climate challenges. So in the second goal only, in the first goal, that is we have to limit to the 2 degrees Celsius, and in the second goal only it has been mentioned that the developed mechanism, that the countries that are underdeveloped or the developing countries should be get support from the developed countries in the form of financial and the forms of technical support. Okay, that is the same thing, it has been mentioned that the countries should be given support. If any country does not have a particular technology or the finance issues, then those countries should be given support by the nations, by the other nations, by the developed nations in their achieving those targets. Okay, or in becoming made them more developed, but in the limit of the goals, in the achieving those in the limit of that set targets of the Paris Agreement. Okay, so what is the India's intended nationally determined contributions? So India's target is to reduce the carbon emissions of its GDP by 30 to 35% by the 2030, and by the comparison with the 2005. Okay, to reduce the emissions intensity by the of its GDP, whatever the GDP's contributions we have, the emissions that is generated for the achieving those GDPs should be reduced to the 30 to 33 to 35% by 2030, and it will be compared from the 2005 years. Okay, first target. Second target is to achieve 40% electric power from the renewable source of energy. Okay, just remember that, see here 35% plus 5, 40, to remember these things, 35 to 40%. So 40% is to achieve the electric power, to it should be from the renewable source of energy by the 2030, and with the help of transfer technology and low cost international fund, including from the Green Climate Fund. So we can take we can utilize the other funds like the Green Climate Fund and all to achieve those targets. Okay, so to create, and further the third one, the first one, to reduce the emissions by the 35% of the GDP, and it should be compared from the 2005 level. Second target, the 40% 40% electric power should be come from the renewable source of energy. It can be either solar power, it can be either wind power or the hydro power and all. Okay, by the 2030. And the third is to create a carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons of the carbon should be absorbed, that much of trees should be planted by the 2030. So what do you understand additional carbon sink? Carbon sink means what? Trees. Trees, that carbons will be absorbed by the trees. That is means that to create an additional carbon sink, 2.5 to 3 billion tons, okay, not millions will be around lakhs only, billion tons to absorb those CO2 to equivalent the additional forest and the tree cover by the 2030. So India is doing very well in this one, but in the third one, in the creating a carbon sink, India has to struggle a lot, because it will be dependent upon the state government, and state government, the data that they are providing for the afforestation is not reliable yet. Lots of questions have been asked, and if the data is not reliable, then we will fail in the achieving our targets. Okay, so what is the India's performance so far? India efforts have been recognized by the United Nations Environment Program. Whatever the India's efforts have been given, India is actually working in the targets that is given to achieve that Paris Agreement by the 2030, and it has been recognized by the United Nations Environment Program emission gas report, and listed India among the 9th of the 9 G20 countries to be tracked to achieve the commitments made under the Paris Agreement. So India's rank is 9th to achieve those targets that have been set. So it is a very good number, and India's good performance is based on the estimate present reduction of the emission intensity by 21% over 205 levels. So the targets that we have set is to 33 to 35% emissions should be reduced, like emissions should be reduced by the GDP of its GDP. But it has been seen that right now only in the 2020 only we have achieved 21%. So it is not a big target for us. Further, we can exceed this limit. That's what our Prime Minister has said, that the India has announced that India is set to surpass the climate targets. Okay, that right now the reduction of the carbon intensity is by 21%, and the target that we have set is 33 to 35%. The other two bulk of India's climate targets are the forest cover and the renewable energy. In the renewable energy also India is doing very well, but in the scene of forest cover, where we have to make a carbon sink which should be absorbed from 2.5 to 3 billion tons of the carbon dioxide. This is a problem. This is a main hurdle for us, where we have to work very hard in the creation of the afforestation. Okay, so the India State of Forest Report 2019 released recent shows an increase of 5188 square kilometer. Yes, it has been seen that the forest cover of the India has been increased by the afforestation. So it has been shown that in the Indian State of Forest Report 2019, 5188 square kilometer of forest have been increased, and tree across the country compared to that as per the 2017 report, and with compared with the 2019 report, it has been observed that the 5100 square kilometer of forest have been increased. And India's renewable energy capacity addition has been also upward trend in the couple of years, that right now we have solar capacity of 36 gigawatt in 2020, and it has been believed that by 2022 it will be 125 gigawatt. India's renewable sector currently listed in the 4th position and is expected to reach as high as 175 gigawatt by 2022. So in this India's renewable source of energy, in this one your hydropower will also be there, wind power will also be there, and solar power will also be there. And as per the only through the solar power only we have 36 gigawatt of power in the 2020. Okay, so now the G20 bloc constitutes, this G20 countries totally constitute 78% of the global greenhouse gas emissions right now. So whatever the 78% gases are being emitted, carbon dioxide are being emitted, are by these G20 countries only. So these are the G20 countries: Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Republic of Korea, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, UK, United States, and the European Union. So no need to remember all those names. just pick some names, India's surroundings and all, like China's, Japan, Italy, Indonesian and all, and you can given in the exam to identify the country which is not in the G20. So take a overview of these G20 countries. It will be relevant for your optional based questions. Okay. One of the positive associated with the COVID-19 pandemic was that the industries and all were shut down, so ultimately the carbon emission was very less. Okay, so that helped in achieving those targets. So ultimately, but after again when the economy has been reviving, it has been seen that the carbon emissions are now increasing again. So one of the positives associated with the carbon pandemic has been reduction in the global greenhouse gas emissions, majorly due to reduction in the industrial activity. This has been allowed to the countries to remodel the growth strategies. And the concept of green growth dovetailed with the efforts to give the revived economies worldwide. Like we have to like concept of like green growth, like we have to be grow with the greenery, with the matching with the environment without affecting the environment. So the 12 trillion have been extent of the fiscal stimulus that the money should be provided for the worldwide, and this can be used to pursue green growth in the future. Okay, so what are the challenges ahead for the India? So once among the India's goal is to achieve that the carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon sink, which is a very good number. And India have to do afforestation with regards to achieve that targets, and this has to be where states will have a major role to play in the achieving that target. And it has been seen that the data provided by the state in the afforestation is not accurate. So however, there has been doubt over the accuracy of the data submitted by the state with respect to the afforestation measures undertaken by them, and the carbon sink approach will not be deliver the desired result if it is not an accurate data. Okay, and the aim to achieve this 100 gigawatt of solar capacity is very huge. See, our aim is to like our expectation is to get 125 gigawatt by 2022. Okay, and our solar energy emissions, current our solar energy emissions is around 35%, 36 gigawatt in 2020. And it has been seen that our aim is to achieve this 36 gigawatt to 100 gigawatt by 2030. This is a very huge number. Like if you expect like through solar energy only, like right now we have a 36 gigawatt and you expect that it should be 100 gigawatt by 2030 by solar only, not including water, hydro, wind and all. By solar only we should have 100 gigawatt by the 2030, but it is a very good, very high number. If you see there are various states which have a multiple seasons, so in a particular season they don't have a good sunlight, and we have facing challenges with the state implementations also. So we have a program where rooftop will have, where the houses will have a rooftop, on the rooftop solar panel will be there. So houses will generate their electricity by their own through the solar plate, and whatever the electricity generated extra will be given to the government, and this government will supply to the other industrial workers. So ultimately the DISCOM efforts will be less. Like currently DISCOM is in under stress, DISCOM is in loss only. So that's what the target is, to achieve this 36 gigawatt to the 100 gigawatt by the 2030, but it is a very good number, it is a very high number to achieve that target. And we have, but as per the motivations, as per the working of the India, it has been seen that we will achieve it. A state rooftop solar attractiveness index, SARL, state rooftop solar attractiveness index, it has been seen that on the house rooftop solar panel will be installed and the house will use the electricity generated from that solar power only. So the index evaluates that state based on the attractiveness for the rooftop development, and this hasn't given a very optimistic picture of the state's efforts to increase the rooftop solar capacity. So it has been seen that, it has been observed that states are not doing well in the respect to generate electricity, to promote electricity through the solar plate. And in that company, if you see, the Tata is the main responsible country that is doing this solar installation in the houses. The transport driven emissions have been rebounded as well as with the unlocking of the economy. Like, as due to COVID, everything was shut down, carbon emission was also less, but as soon as the economy has been started to unlock, the lockdown has been revoked, it has been seen that the emissions of the carbon again it start increasing. Okay, so while there are calls for e-mobility, cities have not been seen adopting planning measures that provide for cycling and the pedestrianization, that the development in the cities, it has been observed that still we are not thinking for persons or the people to go for the renewable source of energy, where they if their office are nearby their house, they should adopt a cycling to the office. Okay, so cycling, these things like, but for the cycling it should be another road, it should be a narrow road where the cycling people will go, where the pedestrian, there should be a separate path for the pedestrian, because if the cycling people will be stuck in the traffic only with the other cars and the bike, then it will be difficult for them. So there must be a benefit for the cycling. If they are reaching in the office at the time, then the most of the people will like to go for the cycling if they have office nearby their house. So it will make them to push to go toward the renewable source of energy. Okay, it will push them to left the carbon emitted vehicles and go to the environment friendly vehicles like the bicycle. Okay, so what is the way? Government policy as support is crucial. There need to be incentives at the state level also, so that the states will do their good in their forestations and all, to achieve our solar panel targets like 100 gigawatt. Okay, awareness generated about the need to shift to the low carbon pathways also need to be attention, and the shift to low carbon pathways, adoption of renewable energy needs to be more than a policy, and it has to be a movement to achieve a success of the pan India level. So it is telling that this target, to achieve this, to decrease our carbon emissions, to adopt, to plant more, to absorb the carbon sink, this type of movement should be there, this side of revolution should be there, this side of people should come together to achieve those targets. So for that you have to create like awareness within the people, so that people will come together and give their contribution in achieving our Paris Agreement goals by the 2030. Okay, so I hope you have liked this video. Please like and subscribe. This is a new channel, so I need your support. Further, if you have any doubt, if you want any on-demand video lecture, please feel free to ping on my Twitter handle. Thank you.